Yeah, sure. What's it? Let me just put my YouTube in my notes. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up the YouTube so I can see if we're live. Give me 1 second. There you go. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday law class. Also, remember, check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, which is what the radio show is Monday midnight, well 2 a.m. in our time. Then there's classes in the States, Tuesday through Friday. So what? On Tuesday you got the Brotherhood class. Wednesday the law class. Thursday the Scripture breakdown class. Friday the Lashon Kodash class, which is what the Holy Tongue. So that's the classes in the States. And you can, if you're on Facebook, just subscribe to all of them on Facebook, and then you probably see classes all times of the day. Then there's all the radio shows, the events, the lectures. There's tons of things going on. So just go on the I.S.U.P.K website and just, subscribe to everything. Go on Facebook, subscribe to everything. Subscribe to all the schools, all the channels. And then that way you can have classes all times of the day, because obviously different places have different time zones. Whereas 7 o'clock here is what time? 7 o'clock here, 2 p.m. in the States. So 2 p.m. in the States, in New York anyway. So obviously you can log on and see different class schedules, or you can just go on the internet and then you can see the class schedules. So we have classes here. What Monday we have the history class. Wednesday the law class. Thursday the scripture breakdown class. Saturday the Sabbath service. There's a lot going on here. It's okay. You ready to start rocking some lectures and all of those kind of things. So that's things that you don't really want to miss, man. Come on down. We've got tons of things, man. And today's class, we're going into what? Black people are in a covenant with the Lord, whether you agree or disagree, man. Because your forefathers made an agreement, man. And it's for you to continue that agreement. You can't just come down and say, nah. You can't just come and say, nah. What we agreed to before, I'm just going to change it now. Right. Nah, man. It doesn't work like that. And this is why your life is the way it is. Because what you're trying to break that covenant, man. And by breaking that by you trying to break that covenant brings what? Death, man. You die for breaking that covenant that you have with God, man. God made the covenant with our forefathers, and we all said we agreed to keep it. So you can't be here in 2019 saying, "Nah, I'm gonna break this agreement. I don't like the contract." Listen, you can't sign a contract, man, and then back out the contract. That's the whole point of contracts, man. Listen, if you know anything about a contract, you sign a contract to say what? If anything goes wrong, I want this person to, get this much, get this much, whatever. You got a contract with the Lord, man. And guess what? Guess what the Lord put in your contract? That you can't be a homosexual, man. Right. You can't eat pork, man. Right. You can't be a criminal and be a drug dealer and be a rapist and be a murderer, man. The Lord wrote that in your contract, man. Right. And you signed the contract in the dotted line and said, Lord, I agree to it. That's what you said, man. You signed that contract that you're not going to be gay, that you're not going to be sell drugs, man, that you're not going to be a criminal, that you're not going to be a murderer. You signed the contract. and then now you're trying to break the contract. And listen, man, by you breaking that contract, it brings death. And this is why black people's life is the way it is.
That's right.
Because we entered into a contract and we're trying to break the contract, man. Whereas in the white man society, what happens if you breach a contract? What happens? Jail time. You go to jail, man. Like you see when you sign up to the army, if you try to leave before your time, what happens? You have to go to jail. I'm sure you go to jail. Yeah, and you go to jail, man. Listen, man, you're in a contract with the Lord, and you can't go AWOL with the Lord's contract, man, because the Lord sees everything, man. You ain't gonna get far. Just stick to this contract that you agreed to. But give me Genesis 12 and verse 1.
Genesis 12 and 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country.
The Lord said what?
Get thee out of thy country.
So now, this is the Lord speaking to Abraham, man. One second. Shalom, Concert, and I was just calling about the YouTube, but no sweat. We got it up and running now because they changed the whole system. Yeah, all right. Shalom, all right, give me Genesis chapter 12 and verse 1.
Get thee out of thy country and thy kindred, and from thy father's house.
Listen, man. The Lord said to Abraham, what? Read that.
Get thee out of thy country and thy father's house.
The Lord told Abraham, look, man, go from that country and your father's house. Now the Lord instructing Abraham to, what is his name at this time? Abraham. The Lord was instructing him to do something, man. Go ahead.
And thy kindred.
At this time, Abraham had to physically leave, man. Now, what the Lord wants you to do in this day and age is separate your spirit from this place, man. Abraham had to physically leave his father and go elsewhere. Go ahead.
And I will make thee a great nation.
And the Lord said, listen, do this, and I'll make you a great nation, man. And because Abraham obeyed God, and Abraham understood about the covenant him and God made and the agreement, and Abraham stuck to it, Abraham was rewarded, man.
Right.
Abraham was rewarded. A great nation came out of Abraham. Abraham had what? Riches, many kids, had us, and so forth. Go ahead.
God. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee.
And I will what?
Bless thee.
And listen, man, if you keep the covenant that our forefather God, the Lord will what?
Bless thee.
The Lord will bless us, man. It's that simple. Now, do you think it's a blessing when a man's shot to death on the street, brains leaking out? Do you think that's a blessing? No, man. Do you think it's a blessing when our people's getting murdered and dying horrible deaths? No, man. Most of these things happen is what? Because we break our covenant with God. And all we have to do is stick to this agreement, man. And this is why it's very important that you come to the I.S.U.P.K, man, and learn this agreement. Like, you ain't going to listen, outside of here, you don't even know that you got an agreement. You don't even know. You're just living life every day, going to the beach, going Portugal. Where is it? Afro Nation. Going Afro Nation in Portugal. And women in their bikinis. Men thinking the Ken from Barbie in their shorts because what, they work a little bit at abs. Thinking the Ken work a little bit at abs. Not knowing you have a covenant with the Lord, man. You don't even know that, man. But we're gonna show you. Go ahead.
God. And thou shalt be a blessing. That I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee.
Listen, man. The Lord said, "Yo, you do as I say, man." He said to Abraham, "I'll bless them that bless you, and curse them that curse thee, man." Meaning, no harm could come Abraham's way because the Lord's with him, man. Anyone that would have came up against him, like if we serve God, these nations that tried to curse us, the Lord would curse them, man. You see these nations that's out there killing us, the Lord would make sure they die, man.
Right.
If we stayed as part of this agreement, but obviously we leave this agreement, so these nations is free to do whatever they want with us. They're free to what? Throw us in jail, murder us. They're free to what? Arrest us while they're on two horses and we walk through the road. Do you see the brother that the police arrested in Texas? Was it Texas? See, that's what I'm saying, man. Because we disobey God, we give the white man that power. He can just be on his horse and put a rope around your neck, man. And guess what? In this statement, all the issue is what? An apology. Every time the white man does something wrong, what does he do? Issue an apology. Listen, man, sorry. Saying sorry don't mean anything, man. I mean, saying sorry doesn't change the fact that you put a rope around around the man and while you're on a horse, man. You saying sorry don't change the fact, man. And this is what white people do. Do you wrong and say, "Oh, we're sorry." To release a statement, "Oh, sorry." Listen, man. Sorry ain't good enough, man. Sorry ain't good enough. Go ahead.
God. And indeed shall all families of the earth be blessed.
And there you go, man. And indeed shall all families of the earth be blessed, man. Go ahead.
God. So
And
Abraham
and and
departed.
and, and also don't mistake a blessing for people receiving the promise, because the covenant and the promises was only given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, did the Lord bless other nations? Yeah, he did, because obviously what? He blessed Ishmael with what? 12 princes. He blessed Ishmael with 12 princes. He blessed Esau with the sword. So don't get a blessing mixed up with so forth, because that's what Christians will pull and be like, but the Lord blessed Ishmael with 12 sons. Listen, so what? Go ahead.
So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him.
Got verse yet? Go ahead.
And Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran.
And Abraham was what? 75 years old. And what's Haran? Is Haran his uncle, right? Because I'm sure his dad's Terah. Is Haran his dad? Which one's Terah? Oh, Slakia. I'm thinking it's. Oh, Slakia. I thought it was on about the man. Go ahead. I was thinking that in his dad's name, but go ahead.
Messiah. And Abraham took Sarah his wife
And
Lot his brother's son.
And then Abraham took them with him, man. He departed out of the land of Haran because the Lord told him to leave that land. And also, how it works is when the Lord requires something of you, usually you have to overcome something, man. You have to give something up. Like most people that come in here don't just think, oh, they just came in here just like that. Nah, man, they had to give something up. Something that they loved, man. They had to give it up and so forth. You're not just gonna walk in here and the same things you was doing before you be able to do after. It don't work like that, man. In here, you have to pick which side you want. Either you want that county drug line, or you want to put down that county drug line and serve the Lord, man. And then most people be like, "Nah, I'm making too much money, so I can't even come in here no right now because this is what they say. I need to get my money right before coming here. So this is what they think. They think they're gonna go out there, sell all them drugs, and then once they make enough money, they're gonna come in here. Listen, the thing is this: you're never ever gonna make enough money, man.
Right.
You're never ever gonna make enough money, which means what? You're never ever gonna come in here if that's the case. People always say, "Nah, I just need to get my money right." Listen, man, the truth ain't about money, man. People make it like what? If you're poor, it's a crime. Being poor ain't a crime, man. The Bible says the Lord makes rich and poor. The Lord would you rather be poor and serve him, man, than you be rich and not serve him. Because there's plenty of people who's been rich and ain't served God, and they've said the same thing. Oh, let me get my money right, man, and then I'll come in here. Guess what? They just keep going broke and broke and broke, and they're still not in here, man. Listen, man, it's if you put money over God, you're never gonna get rich. But you could come in here, and who knows? The Lord could bless you, man. The Lord could say, you know what? He left all of that, and he came in here and followed me. Or you can be out there and gamble with your life and think you're gonna get rich and think you're gonna be the next rapper and think you're gonna be the next Beyonce and think you're gonna get this modeling contract that you so crave and think you're gonna have 200K followers on Instagram. Good luck, man. Good luck. I hope it works out for you. I hope it works out for you. But as for us, we know this is gonna work out for us, man, because this is of the Lord. Whereas what you're doing is you're just doing whatever the white man teaches you should do. But from there, drop that. Give me a Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1.
Genesis 17 and 1. And when Abraham was 99 years old,
It says, now when Abraham was what? 99 years old. Go ahead.
the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me.
And the Lord appeared unto Abraham, man. Like what? He sent angels, man. Go ahead. Messengers. That's what that word means. Go ahead.
And be thou perfect.
And do what?
And be thou perfect.
He sent them and said, look, man, be thou perfect, man. And how do you be perfect? I couldn't find that scripture. Which one was it? Was it Luke 1 and 68?
Luke 1 and 6.
Was it? Yeah, hold that, but pull that for me. Let me show you how you be perfect, man. I'm going to show you how to be perfect. The Lord told Abraham to be perfect, and Christ told us to be perfect, man.
Luke 1 and 6. And they both are perfect.
Yeah. No, just read that one, Mike. The same thing. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, pull that on for me. If you can find it. Because a lot of people say what? A lot of people think what being perfect is, what you think is perfect is different to what the Bible states, man. In Christians' mind, being perfect is what? Someone who don't swear. In their mind is someone who don't swear, someone who's a pushover, someone who goes to church every Sunday, someone who sings and listens to gospel songs, someone who plays the tambourine, and men holding hands and men clean shaven. Listen, that's perfect to them. Being clean shaven, eating pork, having them little their little communion packs. You know, them little communion packs they have. They're little square pieces of bread. That's what they think is perfect, man. Oh, you found it? Yeah, go ahead.
2 Timothy 3 and 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High.
All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, man. So you see, everything you read in the scriptures, it's all inspired by God, man. All the men in this Bible was inspired by God, man. So what they wrote down is words that God put the Holy Spirit on them to write, man. Go ahead.
And
all inspired by God.
profitable for doctrine.
And profitable for doctrine, man. Go ahead.
And correction.
And it's profitable for doctrine and correction, man. Meaning what? You can correct someone with this. It's profitable, man. You see this? You can look at what someone's doing and you can use this and correct them by it, man. Go ahead. In here, if you see a man taking drugs, smoking weed and whatnot, you can show him in here, look, man, that's wrong. It goes against this, man. You can pull out, listen, you can pull out your covenant, man. You can pull out your contract and say, look, man, you're breaching the contract from God, man. The contract from God states this. You see when you go to a job and you sign a contract, and they say to you, oh, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do this, it's a sackable offense, and you sign the contract. Listen, man, you've got a contract with God, man. And every time you breach it, I'm gonna pull out that contract and show you how you're breaking that contract. Go ahead.
For instruction in righteousness.
For what?
Instruction in righteousness.
For instruction in righteousness, man. For instruction in righteousness, meaning the instructions and the way you're meant to be righteous is written in here, man. You can use this to instruct you to be righteous. Go ahead.
That the man of God may be perfect.
That the what?
That the man of God may be perfect.
And that's how you be perfect, man. By following the instructions in here, by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's how you be perfect, man. Using this for correction. That's how you be perfect. That the man of God may be perfect. Now, if you don't know the Bible, how do you know what perfect is, man? If you don't know the Bible, obviously you don't know what perfect is. And this is why you need to come here and learn the Bible so you know what perfect is. Because if you think you're following God, but you don't know what the hell is scripture saying, you could be breaking it, man. Like there's one time we didn't know these scriptures, man. One time we thought we was righteous. One time we thought we was perfect, not realizing we didn't know a damn thing, man. Coming from the Christian church, they just teach you, come church on Sunday and you'll be perfect, and you're perfect. And God knows your heart, and God will accept you. Listen, that's all lies, man. That's all lies. It's not that easy, man. I'm sorry to break it to you. It's not that easy, man. And listen, Christians say, oh, I can't wait until we're all in heaven. And then, man, that's a murderer and a rapist and anybody that dies. The first things Christians say is, oh, he's in heaven, he's in a better place. Listen, if Oliver Cromwell's in heaven, I don't want to go, man. Give me some more of them racist white men. Who else is there? There's a ton of them, man. If Winston Churchill's in this heaven, I don't want to go, man. If Ted Bundy's in heaven, I don't want to go, man. If my manager at my slavery, he goes to heaven, I don't want to go, man. Right. If he goes there, I don't want to go, man. All of this is a fairy tale when they tell you, yeah, just come to church on Sunday, then we'll all be in heaven together. Nah, man, it don't work like that. But if I could back to where we was. I think it was Genesis 17.
Genesis 17. Walk before me and be thou
It
perfect.
says, walk before me and be thou perfect, man. Meaning, walk accordingly in righteousness, man, and be perfect, man. Do what God requires of you. What verse you at? Here, go ahead.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
And I will what?
Make thy covenant between me and thee.
And he said, well, I will make my covenant, man, between me and thee. The Lord saying, I'll make a covenant with you, man. I'm going to make an agreement with you, man. You be perfect, and I'm going to make an agreement. Go ahead.
And will multiply thee exceedingly.
And will what?
Multiply thee
And
exceedingly.
he said, I'll multiply you, man. He's telling him how he's going to bless him if he sticks to this covenant and if he continues to be perfect and if he keeps walking up righteously. Go ahead.
And Abraham fell on his face and talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
And he said, and thou shalt be a father of many nations, man. And what? Abraham, many nations came out of Abraham, man. Abraham was a father of many nations. Many nations came out of Abraham. Go ahead.
Neither shall thy name be no more Abraham.
Neither what?
Shall thy name be no more Abraham.
Neither shall thy name be no more Abram. Because once you come into the truth, what happens? You get a new name, man. You show something, man. You come in here, you show something. Yeah, attendance is up to par. Brother CEO, you're shedding yourself of the world, and what happens? You get a new name, man. Abraham had to do that to get a new name, man. The Lord just didn't give him the name straight away. And this is when the Lord's given Abraham a new name. Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly.
Have we gone over the part when he gave him his name?
What?
Oh, yeah, go back to that.
Neither shall thy name be no more Abraham.
Neither shall thy name be no more Abraham. This is what we do in the I.S.U.P.K, man. You come in here, you work, man. Work. And what happens? One day, you get called to the front, man. And then what happens? We say, neither shall your name be no more, whatever it was. And then we give you a new name. And everything we're doing here is biblical. You see all these other fake Israelite groups that get that pick a name that they like. It don't work like that, man. The Lord here didn't say to Abraham, you know what, pick a name that you like and you just have it. The Lord gave him his name, man. When Jacob got his name, the Lord gave him his name, man. The Lord gave him his name. This ain't a place where you just come in here and just pick your own name, man. That's Christianity and these fake Israelite groups. Go ahead.
Thy name shall be Abraham.
But thy name shall be Abraham, man. And the Lord gave him a new name, man. He didn't choose his. He didn't go on Facebook and go on what so many Christian Israelites do. They go on Google. What did they do? Type in Hebrew names. Yeah, they go on Google, type in Hebrew names. Exactly. It's not coming up. Yashiv this, Nitskia. What else did it come up? Yasharal and Shof. What's the Shofat? Shofat al. Shofat al. Some nonsense. Listen, man. You come in here, man. You ain't bringing those silly names in here with you, man. This is the place where you get a proper Hebrew name straight away. When people request me on Facebook, I just read the name and I know if the UPK or not, man. Seen all this Yasharal and listen, man. Cut it out, man, and just come in here and learn the proper way. Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee.
And Abraham got a new name. Why? Because obviously, his what? Time for him to become a new person and walk in this covenant. Hold that, but give me Colossians chapter 3 and verse 10. And I'm going to show you why. Once you come in here, why you get a new name. Like
Colossians 3 and 10.
Like if your name's what? If your name's Tyrone, before the truth, you ain't going to come in here and your name ain't going to be Tyrone no more. People saying, oh, my name's Tyrone, but in Hebrew, Tyrone means, you know, when people do that, in Hebrew, Tyrone means, but listen, man, you come in here and you get a new name, man. Go ahead.
Colossians 2 and 3 and 10. And have put on the new man.
You know why? You get a new name because you're a new man. You see, the old man was what? Evil, lustful. The old man was what? A drug dealer, a criminal. The old man what? Was evil, man. And the Lord's done away with the old man and said, you know what? Forget all of that. You're a new man now. Read that for me.
And have put on the new man.
And listen, man. Once you come in here, you put on the new man. You put on the new man, man. You put on the new sister. I mean, before you came in here, you probably was what? Sleeping with everybody, man. Before you came in here, you probably was sleeping with every man out there, man. But once you come in here, you what? Put on the what?
Put on the new man.
Listen, man. If you was a sister that was once sleeping with everybody, once you come in here, you're a new woman, man. You're a virgin again, man. I don't care if you got 10 kids and people's asking you how you're a virgin and you got 10 kids. You tell it, you tell them you're a virgin, man. Just let them look at you weird because listen, you're a virgin, man. You're a new sister, man. I don't care if you got 5 kids, 5 baby fathers, man. But once you come in here, you're no longer that woman, man. You're a virgin, man. Man asks you, how are you a virgin and got 5 kids? You say, look, man, you're a virgin. You're a new person, man. If you're a man that's done sold drugs, and someone says, I remember you used to be a drug dealer. Say, I don't know, I've never sold drugs in my life. When they say, no, that was you. I brought the drugs up for about 2 years. It wasn't me. Say, I've never sold drugs in my life. You know why? Because you're no longer that person no more, man. People in the world won't get it, man. But who cares if they don't get it? The Lord has made you that new person, man, and wants you to become that new person. Go ahead.
Which is renewed in knowledge.
Which is renewed in knowledge, man. Like now, you're a new man, and you've got new knowledge. You got the knowledge of what? I shouldn't be a drug dealer. Shouldn't be a whore. Shouldn't be a pimp. Shouldn't be a stripper. Shouldn't be this. Shouldn't be that. Before you didn't have that. Like most people out there all people out there outside of here, they don't have that knowledge, man. They don't have the knowledge of right and wrong. There's a ton of things people do ignorantly, man. Like they don't know. Go ahead.
After the image of him that created him.
And now you got the new knowledge, the knowledge of the image of him that created him, meaning what? The reputation of God, man. Now you know what God stands for. Now you know what he requires, man. Now you know that you're part of a covenant that you have to keep, that you have to live by. Now you know these things. Drop that. Still hold Genesis, but give me Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 24.
Ephesians 4:24.
Right.
And that ye put on the new man.
And that what?
You put on the new man.
There you go, man. That's the whole subject matter, man, is that you put on the new man. Forget what the old man did. Put on the new man, meaning what? New beginnings, man. You're born again. That's the new man. Go ahead.
Which after the Most High is created in righteousness.
Which after the Most High is created in righteousness, man. You know why? Because the Most High is righteous, and He requires you to be righteous. Because we're His sons and His daughters, man. We're His sons and His daughters, man. And God's got a reputation, and He wants you to keep His reputation, man. He wants you to represent Him well, man. That's what we're supposed to do. People are supposed to look at us and see, you know what? They serve their God how they're supposed to, man. God's got a reputation to keep, man. Same how you've got a reputation. You don't like what? Your reputation tarnished. And by the things that we do, selling drugs, that's what I was trying to. We're trying to tarnish God's reputation, man. We're trying to tarnish God's reputation, man. Amongst the heathen, man. We're trying to tarnish God's reputation by all the evil we do. Take me back to Genesis. I think it's 17 and probably was it 5? I mean, that's what we're doing with our lifestyle. I mean, in the UK, I was watching the pro. Did you watch the program the other day, Knifed? You come on Channel 5. You missed it. Basically, it's one of them things. They said in England, this is how it goes, and it kind of does go like this. Your whole day could be what? I'm just gonna go out and go to the park, and you look at a man wrong, and you just end up being stabbed to death for it, man. You know that's it. Goes in some. Listen, you give a man the wrong look down here, he's ready to stab you, man. Like down here, you don't even want to look. You can't even look at your own people no more, man. Why? Because like they said, 90% of young black men are armed. That was the statistics was something high like that. They said they're armed, and you can't even look, man. You just popped out to go to the shop to get a drink, and before you know it, you're in a full-on knife fight. And some of the knives they had the knuckle dust, the ones where you put your knuckles in there, and the blades there, and they showed him stabbing the other. They showed him stab up one of the brothers in was it in Tesco or somewhere? And listen, man, he just imagine you're in Tesco. What do you do when you're in Tesco? You go shopping, man. You go there to do your shopping. You don't go there to have a knife fight. You don't go out there to get stabbed. But that's how we treat one another, man. The Lord didn't give us this contract agreement for us to be doing them things, man. Killing your brother is not in the agreement, man. That ain't in the agreement, man. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Genesis 17, probably verse 5.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham.
Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and will make nations of thee.
And the Lord said to Abraham, he's going to make him fruitful and make nations of him. Go ahead.
And kings shall come out of thee.
And kings shall come out of thee, man. Great people came out of Abraham. Why? Because he was righteous and served God. Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thy seed.
And he will what?
Covenant. So I can establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee.
And listen, man, he's going to establish it with who? After thee. Or does it stop at Abraham? See? That's what I'm saying, man. He's establishing this covenant with Abraham and his seed after him, man. It didn't say it stops at Abraham. It didn't say, yeah, this is just between me and you, and it stops right there. Then after a while, everyone can go back to doing what. No, man, it didn't say that. You should read it again, because it must say that the way we live in.
I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee.
Listen, man. The Lord said he's establishing the covenant with me and thee and thy seed after thee. And you're the seed that came after Abraham, man. So you're part of this covenant. You're part of this agreement, man. This contract has been signed, and you're a part of this contract, and you have to live by this contract, man. Because if you break this contract, it brings death, disease, cancer, everything, man. There's a death penalty for breaking this covenant, man. For you trying to leave it, for you trying to live like the white man, for you trying to join the army, for you trying to join the army and, you know, thinking you're all this, and you trying to be the next John Cena, thinking, yeah, you're going to be a wrestler and all of it. Listen, man, there's more to life than all the nonsense that the white man shows you is success on TV. The white man's success ain't the same as our success, man. His success is what? His success ain't going to last. His is just what? You go to college, get a degree. Guess what? I know tons of black people that's done all of that wasn't in the truth. And guess what? Their children after them are still poor, man. Which lets you know they might as well just get in here where we all can be poor together and build from the bottom up, man.
Right.
Instead of them helping to build up the white man system. This is how you help to build up the white man system. You go uni, you get a good job. And then this is for people in the world, by the way. Obviously, in the truth, it's good to have a degree. Obviously, it's good to have a degree. It's good to have a job which brings you more money. But what people do in the world is this. They go school, college, uni, get a good job. And then what happens? They no longer love black people no more, man. They think, you know what? I've outgrew black people. I've got a degree, especially the sisters. I've got a degree, and what can these black men offer me? That's what they say, man. They say, I've got a degree. I'm Miss Independent. These black men can't offer me nothing. And then what happens? They go and get a white man, and all that hard work and all that uni they've done, all that money they just pump it back into the white community, man. They just pump it right back into the white community. And then what happens? Their kids grow up, do the same thing, pump it all back into the white community, man. Whereas here, we trying to build up black communities, man. We trying to build up black communities, trying to pump every dollar back into the, I'm not even American and I'm saying dollars, so lucky every pound, every pound. We trying to pump every pound back into the black communities, man. Go ahead.
And thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant.
For what?
An everlasting covenant.
You sure it says everlasting covenant?
An everlasting covenant.
Listen, black man, you're part of this everlasting covenant, man. This is forever. You have to keep this contract and keep God's laws forever, man. God's laws is never going to be done away with. I don't know what you've been told in church. I don't know what you've been told on Sunday and in your Seventh-day Adventist church. I don't know what they've told you there. But whatever they told you, they didn't tell you it from the Bible, man. They didn't show you in the Bible. Because you're in an everlasting covenant, an everlasting agreement that you need to stick to. Go ahead. Yeah, what verse yet?
7.
Yeah, go ahead.
To be a power unto thee and to the seed after thee.
Go ahead.
And I will give unto thee and give to thy seed after thee, and the land wherewith thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan.
And listen, man, the Lord said the Lord said is going to give them what? You and your seed after what? All the land of Canaan, man, which is what? The land of Israel, man. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Abram, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore.
And people say, no, that wasn't originally your lot's land. You lot stole it. Listen, man, for all you people saying that, man, and all these other next nations saying it, listen, man, when the kingdom comes, I'm stealing your land too, man. Tell me something, man. What you gonna do about it, man? There's nothing you can do about it, man. I'm a listen. I'm a take I'm a take. Give me some lands that I might want to take. I'm gonna take. Listen, I'm gonna take Great Britain, man. They've had me here a slave for so long. Listen. When that day comes, I might as well just own it, man. I might as well just own it, man. Go ahead. No one complains. No one says the white man steals land, but people say, "Oh, you lot stole the land." Listen, man. Go ahead.
This is my covenant which ye shall keep.
This is the covenant which ye shall keep, man. Go ahead.
Between me and you and thy seed after
And listen,
thee.
between me and thee and thy seed after thee, man. We're in an agreement, and you can't break this contract because this contract you've signed on the dotted line, and you're in this contract forever and ever and ever. You can't just one day be like, you know what? I feel like I shouldn't have signed that contract because I can't be asked to abide by it. Nah, man, it don't work like that, man. We made a promise to the Lord and said, all these things we will do. We're gonna get that scripture soon. What verse you at? Jump to verse 19.
Verse 19. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
And listen, man, this is when the Lord's saying Sarah's gonna have a son. Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting.
Hold on, another what?
I will establish my covenant with him.
And listen, before Isaac was even born, man, before Isaac was thought of, the Lord said, "What? I'm gonna your wife's gonna conceive. You're gonna have a son, and I'm gonna establish my covenant with him forever." And we are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham is the father of Isaac. Isaac is the father of Jacob. We are the sons of Jacob, and we in this covenant forever. Go ahead.
For an everlasting covenant, and with the seed after him.
For an everlasting covenant, man, and with the seed after him. Go ahead.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him.
So listen, the Lord said the covenant's with us, but he said he's blessed Ishmael, meaning what? Ishmael had 12 princes come out of him. Go ahead.
And will make him fruitful.
And the Lord said he's going to bless him, he's going to make him fruitful. Go ahead.
And I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly.
And know what?
Multiply him exceedingly.
And you will multiply him exceedingly. And this is why these dirty Arabs is everywhere. So look, yeah. That's their blessing. This is why these Arabs is everywhere, man. This is why they got a ton of oil, money, whatnot. Go ahead. This is their blessing. Go ahead.
12 princes shall he begat.
12 princes, man, shall he begat. Ishmael had what? 12 sons, man. Go ahead.
And I will make him a great nation.
And the Lord said they will make him a great nation. This is Ishmael. This is obviously, you see what it is? Obviously, Abraham is the father of Ishmael and he loves his son. Like, you have to understand that obviously everyone loves their children. Abraham loves his son, so the Lord saying, you know what? All right, I'll give Ishmael this blessing and whatnot. Because obviously Abraham loves his son. Same like if what you got cousins who are what Edomites because their father's a white man or whatnot. Obviously, you love your cousins because they're your family, right? You love them, man. It's not a thing where so it's a thing like that, man. Go ahead. Obviously, Abraham still loves Ishmael as his son. Go ahead.
But my covenant.
So now the Lord saying, all right, I'm gonna give Ishmael that, but my covenant, the agreement, the promises, everything, the oracles, the priesthood, but my covenant. Go ahead.
Will I establish with Isaac?
Will I what?
Establish with Isaac.
And he said, but his covenant will he establish with Isaac, man. He didn't establish this covenant with everybody. And this is why the white man can eat as much pork as he wants and he doesn't get what? High blood pressure. The white man can smoke as much crack and heroin as he wants, but he don't get what? He don't get cancer like you do. You know why? Because the Lord said what? But what?
My covenant.
But my covenant, man. his agreement, his law, statutes, and his commandments, all these things was given to you. Everything you see was given to you, man. Go ahead.
I established with Isaac.
And the Lord said, look, man, I'm establishing these things with Isaac. Nobody else wasn't part of this covenant. So how's all these other nations think they deserve a piece of the kingdom, man? When they ain't even been through the hell that we've been through. Nobody wanted a piece of the hell, man. Nobody didn't volunteer. You know what? Listen, no white man volunteered and said, you know, I'll pick that. I'll pick that cotton for you. You just have a lion. No white man said that, man. No white man said, you know what? You have a lion and I'll pick the cotton for you. No white man said, you know what? Instead of you getting whipped, I'll get whipped. No white man said that, man. But they feel like what? They must be part of our heaven. Nah, man, it's not gonna work like that, man. They need to keep that same energy. You can't try and change it now. Listen, you didn't want to be a part of our hell. You sure can't be a part of our heaven, man. So you mean to say we must go through all the bad, while you go through the good, while we going through the bad, and then while we going through the good, you want to go through the good as well? It doesn't. Life don't work like that, man. It doesn't work like that, man. I'm sorry, man. It don't work like that. Go ahead.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee.
What verse you at? Go ahead.
This set time in the next year.
Yeah, you can drop that. Give me Genesis chapter 5 and verse 21.
Genesis 5 and 21. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. And after
and Enoch what?
Walked with God.
Meaning Enoch what? Was a righteous man that walked with God, man. And men that walk with God, they don't face no harm, man. Men that walk with God, God's got them, man. Go ahead.
And after he begot Methuselah, 300 years, he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch was 360 and 5 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him.
It says Enoch walked with God, man. It says Enoch walked with God, and it says for he was not, took him. But from there, give me Colossians chapter 1 and verse 9. And then what you will have is people that read these fake books of Enoch. People that read these fake books of Enoch, they will see that there and say for Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And then guess what? They'll read the book of Enoch, and they will say, "See, bro, where did God take him? God, what did they say? Enoch's in heaven ruling over the angels." Say, see, this is all of this nonsense, man. Where does it say that in the scripture that we just read? It said, "For Enoch is not, for God took him." It don't tell you where God took him, man. And but obviously, yeah, they say, "Oh, God took Enoch up to heaven." And listen, man, all of these stuff is lies. What the white man does is he reads the Bible, and then parts that the masses don't understand, he tries to fill it in. Like there's a part in Genesis, he tried to say what Adam's sons married their daughter. Adam's sons married his daughters or something along them lines. So parts that they don't understand, they try and fill it in, and then people come and read it and say, "See, because the Bible don't tell you this, so you need to go into this book and this woman called Lilith that flied out of the earth." And listen, they give you all these nonsense books that you might as well just burn them. You see in the winter when it's cold, in the winter when it's cold and the electric's low, you just put those books on the fire, man. You and your family just sit around these fake books, man. Just burn them on the fire. That's all the good for. Go ahead.
Colossians 1 and 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding.
Good.
That ye might walk worthy of the Lord.
That what?
You might walk worthy of the Lord.
And this is what we need to do: walk worthy of the Lord. So now, where do you find out how the Lord wants you to walk? You find that in here, man. What the Lord requires of you, what the Lord requires you to do, what feast days the Lord wants you to keep. Because out there, we think what? We must keep Christmas, Easter. What next ones do we do down here? Some next garbage ones. We think we must keep those days when that's not in the Bible, man. We think Easter and bunnies and some next nonsense that they keep. I mean, black people think what? Black people think what the time of Easter, what you can't is it you can't eat meat. That they say,
Good Friday.
is it Good Friday? You can't eat meat. Why do they eat fish? See, so Good Friday, you listen. The fish markets make a killing around that time, especially off these old Jamaican grandmas, man. You see these old Jamaican grandmas, they make it. Listen, the white man makes a killing of selling fish that weekend, man. He makes a killing of selling bun and cheese, man. Is it bun and cheese they eat as well? He makes a killing of selling bun and cheese, man. He makes a killing of it, man. Says that, oh, you can't eat meat. That's a lie, man. You can eat meat, man. All these things is a lie. This is why you need to come in here and see what's right. You mean to tell me you think that you can't eat meat and you think that makes you righteous because what? You're not eating meat on Good Friday. You think you can just smoke weed every other day, sell crack every other day. Oh, it's Good Friday. I'm not going to eat meat. You think that makes you right? No, man. And this is the mindset that we need to get out of, man. How can we be doing evil all week and think, you know what? I'm not going to eat meat today. I'm not going to. I'm going to eat bun and cheese today. I'm going to eat bun and cheese today, so that makes you righteous. Nah, man. This is why you need to come in here and learn the Bible, man. Go ahead.
God, verse 10, that you might walk worthy of the Lord, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work.
Being all pleasing, man, and fruitful in every good work, man. Being fruitful in every good work. Now, you need to know what's a good work according to the Lord. Because out there, outside of these doors, nothing's a good work, man. The whole world's living how they want to live. The whole world's eating how they want to eat, doing whatever they want, being evil, being criminals, drug dealers. Everybody outside of this room is doing all manner of evil, man. Thinking it's okay to what? Roll up spliffs, smoke blunts. Talk about what they got a ton of names for it. Gelato. Listen, I thought gelato was ice cream. I thought gelato was ice cream, and I'll come to find out gelato was what? Why is it some kind of weed? Yeah, gelato and cookie. I thought a cookie was a biscuit. Nowadays, when people say, "Oh, you want gelato," I have to make sure they're talking about ice cream, and I have to say you're on about the ice cream. A man will bring you a big bag of weed and say, "Here's the gelato." Listen, man, I'm behind on all this slang. I don't know where they changed the names. It's now called gelato. It's called what? Why is it cookie? Blue cookie. What other names did they give it? Blue rocks and all of this stuff. Listen, I'll scratch my head. I thought gelato was just an expensive ice cream, man. That's what I thought it was. Lo and behold, I've come to find that it's some kind of drugs. Go ahead.
God, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering.
That's it. You can drop that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 6. I swear this happens every week, you know. Deuteronomy 8 and 6. Every week. This is the thing, man.
Deuteronomy 8 and 6. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God.
Therefore, what?
Thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God.
It says, thou shalt keep the commandments, man. Keep them, meaning do them. Do them, man. Before you do anything in life, think is this against the law? Think, man. Before you do anything, think is this against the law, man? And this is why you need to know the law, so you know what's against it. Because obviously, if you don't know the law, you're not gonna know what's against it. Go ahead.
To walk in the ways and to fear him.
To walk in the ways and to fear him, man. You show you fear God by keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. You ain't stronger than God. You ain't gonna win a fight against God. You ain't gonna just break his covenant and continue doing what you want and gonna get away with it, man. Once you understand you going against God, you're not gonna get away with it. It might make you say, you know what? Let me just be on God's side and serve God, man. Because you ain't gonna win. You being an enemy of God, you're gonna lose, man. How do you know you're gonna lose? Because right now you're in England, man. Right now you're in England. You ain't in the land of Israel, sitting on the beach with some big grapes on a hammock and whatnot. You in England, man. You in England, man. Setting your alarm for 6 o'clock tomorrow morning because you have to go get up for slavery, man. That should let you know you can't win against God, or you wouldn't be in this country right now. You're in this country right now where Trump, what's not Boris Johnson, not Boris Trump, Boris Johnson. It's because they look the same. I mean, Boris Johnson. You're in this country right now where Boris Johnson is the prime minister. You're here crying over Brexit. Oh, when we leave Brexit, I'm going to have to get a visa for me to go to Portugal. Listen, man, who cares about Brexit? That's not our problem, man. That's the white man's problem. Go ahead.
For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water.
Listen, man, we keep God's commandments. We're going to go into a good land, a land of brooks of water, man. Instead of being here where it's the same sons of men you see today. The sons of men today is who? The white man, the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Hawaiians. They're the sons of men. And the sons of God today are who? The Israelites, man. 12 tribes of Israel. That's the sons of God. And the other nations is the sons of men. So once you understand that, you understand what Genesis 6 is talking about. But Christians bastardize Genesis the 6th chapter, and they will tell you that what the sons of God is talking about angels, and the sons of men is talking about us. And then they read it like that, and then they would be like, see, the angels had sex with women, and then these kids were what, half human, half angel. They say it was half human, half angel, and they tell you all of that nonsense. And that's a damn lie, man. The sons of men is these other nations, and the sons of God is the Israelites. And God seen that these like were interacting with each other, marrying one another. Same like today, God sees what Serena Williams marrying a white man. Same thing, man. God sees Israelites marrying these other nations. Same thing, man. Go ahead.
Luke 3:31, which was the son of Meleah, which was the son of Menan, which was the son of Mathatha, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David,
Go ahead.
which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was the son of Solomon.
Is this 331? Luke chapter 331. Is this the one? Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Okay, well. So this is giving a run up of who's the sons of who. So all these men here is a son of someone. It's giving you who the sons of. Go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 38, which is the son of Enos, the son of Seth.
Oh, yeah, it was 38. So, okay, go ahead.
Which is the son of Adam, which is the son of God.
Which was the what?
Son of God.
It says Adam was the son of God, and the sons of Adam is the sons of God in Genesis the 6th chapter. So that's what it says, the sons of God. Now go back to Genesis 6.
Genesis 6:1. The sons of God saw the daughters of men.
The sons of God saw the daughters of men, meaning what? Black and Hispanic men saw Becky. Is that they call her Becky? The sons of God saw Becky. Listen, the sons of God saw Becky with the blonde hair, man. Go ahead.
That they were fair and took them wives of all which they chose.
And they saw that they was fair. They looked at them and thought that they was beautiful, and they took them wives of all the chose, man. So the sons of God, he was instructed, don't marry outside of your nation. So these other nations and said, you know what? No, sir. So these other nations and said, you know what? We want some of that. We're gonna marry that. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. The Lord's basically saying, look, man, I read on you, explain. For he is
also flesh.
For he's also flesh, man, meaning what? You ain't on the same level of you ain't on the same level as God, man. God shouldn't have to be fighting with you, man. God going back and forth with you, and he can just destroy you, man. And that's what he's talking about there. Go ahead.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Go ahead.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
There were giants in the earth in those days, man. People think a giant means what? People think a giant means a man who's what? 1,000 feet tall and so forth. The word is what? Tyrant. The word there is tyrant. And when it says giant, just men of reputation, like a man who's doing it big. Basically, like who? Yeah, Elvis Presley's men of reputation, man. Go ahead. That's what it's talking about. Like these men was doing it big. These men was big timers. That's all it's talking about. It's not talking about there was 100 feet tall. How the hell's a man 100 feet tall meant to have sex with a woman 5'2"? Listen, do you really listen? Logically, it don't make no sense. When these fake books will tell you these giants was the size of 6 double-decker buses. You mean to tell me a man the size of 6 double exactly? You mean to tell me a man the size of a mountain can have sex with a woman 5'2"? No, man. That alone should make you realize all of that's a lie, man. All of that should the mathematics should make you realize that that's a lie. Go ahead.
And also after that, when the sons of God came to the daughters of men,
And the sons of God, what happened? Black men started to like these heathen women. Black men started to do what? Black men started to do what? Go to white neighborhoods now. Say we're gonna so say go to King's Standing now. Say they're gonna go get them white women from King's Standing. Started to what? Go to the suburbs and so forth. Uh, black men started to go to the suburbs to go and get white women. That's what this is talking about. The same thing we was doing back then is the same thing people are doing now. Black men saying, you know what? Them white girls in Wales are easy. Let's go get them white girls. Same thing they were doing back then is what people are doing now, which should let you know this is talking about the same thing. This ain't talking about some mythical creatures, which is 2,000 feet tall, 100 feet tall. No, man, it's not talking about that, man. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me these women pushed out things which was 100 feet tall and weighed like 5 tons? That's like a woman pushing out a car, man. Listen, that's like a woman pushing out a 4x4, man. Listen, you mean to tell me a woman can push a 4x4 out? The whole statement is flawed and it doesn't make no sense. And it's so silly. And this is the lies that they feed us. This is the lies that they want us to accept. But when you even just sit down and think of it logically, you'll understand there's no way it's possible. You'll understand it goes against everything. Even the white man knows it ain't true. He just tells you it because it's a nice story. You've been watching you've been a kid, you've been watching too much Jack and the Beans. Is it Jack and the Beanstalk where there was a giant? You've been watching too much Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, you've been watching too much Jack and the Beanstalk, man. It's all a lie. But read on.
good. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that,
And so after that, so after the flood, because there was giants in those days, and also after that. So where's these where's these 100 feet things now? So they just up and disappeared. Huh? They just up and disappeared. Nah, man. Because it's all a lie. If you're busy past that, and I'll just read on from there.
when the sons of God came into the daughters of men
Go ahead.
and bare them children, the same became mighty men of renown.
Became mighty men of renown, man. Men of reputation. Meaning what? You see, like today, where everyone says, "Oh, that child's so pretty with the blue eyes and the straight hair." These kids became that, man. People started to look at these kids like, "Oh, these ones are beautiful." You see how people say, "Oh, you see how women used to say the one a kid, but not with the nappy hair." You know them ones. Listen, I got a cousin, man, that said what she wants a light skinned baby that don't have the nappy hair. So what did she do? Went and got with a white man, and her baby's darker than me, and her baby's hair's nappier than mine's. Which means what? You thinking you're gonna get that? You're not always gonna get that, man. And guess what? Now she's got a child which is an Edomite, man. When she could have a beautiful Israelite baby, man. Obviously, the white man teaches us that we're ugly, and that's why you have all these silly cartoons on the TV. You have all these cartoons about the princess something, she turns black. What they say, she turns black when if she yeah, she's cursed, she turns black. All of these things. They give us all these things from young, man. They make us read all these books and watch these cartoons from young. Go ahead.
And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth. God saw how evil man had become. He saw how man was doing whatever felt good in their sight. He saw how man wanted to do everything that he told them not to do. Go ahead.
And that the earth, and that every imagination of their thoughts of their heart was only evil continually.
And everything they thought to do was just evil continually, man. Same like now. Everything we think to do is what? Just evil continually. Each generation seems to be getting evil and eviler. One generation it was, fist fighting. Now it's knives, guns, killing one another. We just think to do more evil and evil. Go ahead.
And it repented the Most High that He made man on the earth.
And when it says, and it repented, the Most High, people think, oh, God, God repents how we repent. Nah, it ain't talking about that. When it says, it repented, God that He had made man, God just sighed like, oh, why do I bother? That's what it's like. It's more like a sigh. You know, when someone does something and you sigh like, oh, why do I bother? That's what it's like, man. That's what it's like. It's like me when I go to my slave master's always like, oh, why did I employ him? It's like that. He sighs like, why did I employ him? Because obviously I'm late every day and so forth. But go ahead. When you get a chance. Give me 1 second. So yeah, that's what that's talking about. That repent ain't how we repent. That repent is just the Lord sighing. That's all it is. It means to sigh. Go ahead.
And it grieved Him in His heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created.
And the Lord said, you know what? I'm going to destroy man who's created, man. You know why? Because man who He created to uphold His reputation, and He made them in His image. They're just doing the opposite, man. They're doing the opposite to what they've been put here for. So what's the point in having them? The Lord said, you know what? I'm going to destroy man who have made, man. They disobey me. They don't want to respect me. They don't want to listen. They're behaving like they're over me. So the Lord said, you know, I'm going to destroy man. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, I will destroy man off the earth from which I created, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air.
He said, I'm going to destroy man and beast and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air. Go ahead.
For it repented me that I have made them.
For it repented me that I made them. Go ahead.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
And listen, man, the Lord said He's going to destroy everything. And He said, but what?
But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
And listen, the Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. And that's why you need to be in here, so you can find grace in the sight of the Lord, man. So the Lord can be like, you know what? I'm going to destroy everyone around Him, but I'm not going to destroy Him. Because He's walking perfectly. He's being righteous. You need to find grace in God's sight, man. Because if not, what's going to happen? You're going to be destroyed like all these other people that was destroyed with the flood. All these people here was what? Living their life, eating what they want to eat, marrying who they want to marry, having sex with who they want to have sex with, going to Afro Nation, going Afro Nation, going Ibiza to just go have sex with random people. All these people was doing whatever, man.
That's right.
They was living their best life. You know, they're saying, oh, I'm living my best life. They was living their best life, man. They was getting ready for the summer, talking about summer 2019, talking about city girls, talking about I'm living this city girl lifestyle. That's what they was talking about. Little did they know that the Lord was ready to destroy the whole place with a flood, man. And the Lord's getting ready to destroy this whole place with fire. And it's only right that you find grace in His sight so you don't get destroyed. And Noah was a righteous man amongst all these evil people. And guess what? The Lord delivered Noah and his 3 sons, man, which lets you know, man, the GOCC is full of garbage with that flee doctrine, man. Where did Noah flee to? Nowhere, man. The Lord told him made the ark, and the Lord made sure he was safe, man. Noah didn't have to climb in some tree. He didn't have to climb in some tree and destroy his passport. And what else? Break the chip. Noah didn't have to break the chip in his passport and hide away. And, go ahead. Go ahead. They ain't got it in there no more.
Fucking Russia. Get a new passport. I got a new one now. And you got chicken there.
Yeah.
So all that
See, you have to break the chip in your passport and they know where you're going to. And listen, man, no matter where you go, man, if the Lord wants to get you, He's gonna get you, man. That flee doctrine that you have to run away and hide under a rock and hide in a tree, that's a lie, man. Noah didn't have to climb no high tree to avoid the flood, man. What did Noah do? Obeyed God, and the Lord delivered just him. At this time, no one even knew what our ark was at the time, man, because it didn't even rain to that. It didn't even rain to that. No one knew what it was, man. And the Lord what? Delivered Noah, man. Go ahead.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just and perfect Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations.
Noah was what?
Perfect in his generations.
Noah was perfect in his generations, and we showed you what it's like to be perfect. We need to be perfect in our generations. If you want to survive what's about to happen, we got to be perfect in our generations, man. Because the time's coming when the Lord's going through that stage where it's like, you know what? It's time for me to just destroy this place, man. Because we're doing whatever we want to do. Go ahead.
In his generations, verse 8 and 9.
Go ahead. Anyone that
And Noah walked with the Most High.
and what?
Noah walked with the Most High.
And Noah walked with God, man. And that's why God delivered him, man. And if you walk with God, God will deliver you, man.
Right.
But if you want to walk with drugs, the police are just going to pull you over and lock you up, man. If you want to walk with drugs, the police are just going to throw you in the cell, man. If you want to do that, if you want to do anything against God, obviously it's just not going to end well for you, man. We had a question. What was the question?
First Chronicles 27 and 1.
So let me get there with you.
Right.
Go ahead.
First Chronicles 27 and 1. Now the children of Israel and their number to wit, the chief fathers and captains of thousands and hundreds, and their officers that served the king in any matter of the courses which came and went out month by month throughout all the months of the year of every course were 20,004.
What's the question?
Wait, no.
Read it again.
Now the children of Israel, after the manner to wit, the chief fathers and captains, thousands of hundreds, and of the officers that served the king in any matter of the courses,
Go ahead.
which came in and went out month by month
So-
throughout all the months of the year.
So it says, now the children of Israel, after their number, to wit the chief fathers and captains of thousands. So this is what a ranking order it says: captains of thousands and hundreds and their officers. So this is a ranking system. There's captains of thousands and hundreds, and there's officers that serve the king in any matter of the courses. It says, which came in and went out month by month. So they came in and went out month by month. Go ahead. Throughout all the months of the year of every course with 20 and 4,000. So it says 24,000 went out. But what's your question on it? And also, if you go back in the last chapter, it's talking about King David and men of valor, and there was this much men and that much men and so forth. But if you got a particular question on the scripture, just type it in and then we'll get to that for you. Or you sure it wasn't Second Chronicles? First, all right, no, so go back to Psalms 34 and 15.
Psalms 34 and 15. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous.
Says the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous man. Meaning the Lord's looking out for the righteous man. The Lord is protecting the righteous. His eyes are on them, man. Go ahead.
And his ears are open unto their cry.
And listen, his ears is open unto their cry. But you see, anyone who's not righteous, the Lord closes his ears, man. He covers his ears when you pray. You see, if you ain't serving God, when you pray, he covers his ears, man. When you pray, oh, my friend got shot, Lord, please make him make it. Please make him listen. He closes his ears, man. When you're on a hospital bed saying, oh, Lord, please, man, please heal me. These times that you got a pork sandwich on the bedside, man. Listen, man, the Lord closes his ears. His eyes is open to the righteous. And you being unrighteous, he ain't going to hear you, man. It don't work like that. You can't be evil and then just think, okay, yeah, God's just gonna he's just gonna change his plans for you. He's gonna change the plans he had for you because you want to pray and still be evil. Don't work like that. Go ahead.
The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of their troubles.
And the Lord what?
Delivereth them out of their troubles.
And it says the Lord delivers them out of their troubles, man. The Lord delivered Noah out of his troubles, man. The Lord delivered Lot out of his troubles when he was in a land full of homosexuals, man. He was in a land full of homosexuals. What did the Lord do? Brought down fire and brimstone and delivered him out of there, man. What did the Lord do with Noah? Brought down a flood and delivered Noah and his sons out of there, man. The Lord delivers the righteous. Don't listen to anybody telling you that you need to run away and hide and like fire's not gonna burn the place where you're hiding, man. Listen, man, it don't make a difference. You can go and hide anywhere, man. Whether if the Lord wants to get you, He's gonna get you.
Right.
This is why you need to just serve God and don't listen to these fake Israelite groups teaching you that you must run away, and hide. Go ahead.
God, the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as to be of a contrite spirit.
Go ahead.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Many other afflictions of the righteous. Even though you might be going through things, even though you might be afflicted, going through things, go ahead.
But the Lord delivereth them out of them all.
But the Lord delivered them out of them all, man. Like right now, where are we? We in England, man, being afflicted. But the Lord's gonna deliver us out of all of this, man.
That's right.
The Lord is gonna deliver us out of all of these afflictions. Go ahead. Anyone that?
He keepeth.
What verse you at? Nah, that's it. Give me Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 12. Like only the Lord can deliver you, man. If you could deliver yourself, you would have been out of this hell by now, which lets you know you can't deliver yourself. Because if you could, you wouldn't be here right now, man. You wouldn't be in England on minimum wage, man. You can't even get yourself a better job. How are you going to deliver yourself, man? You can't even get yourself a good job. How are you going to deliver yourself, man? Listen, man, just come and serve God. People thinking they can deliver themselves. Us with our minimum wage, thinking, oh, that's taking us anywhere. Nah, man. People fleeing with their minimum wage, talking about, oh, you have to flee with their minimum wage, and guess what? When that money runs out, they have to come right back. They have to message friends and family. Oh, they have to set up a GoFundMe to get them back to England. Listen, man, to serve God, man. That's what you're supposed to do. Give me Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 12.
Ezekiel 14 and 12. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it.
And listen, man, this land right here is sinning against God all over the world. We sinning against God, and the Lord's gonna what? Stretch out His hand over it, man. Go ahead.
And I will staff of the bread thereof. I will send famine upon it.
And I will what?
Send famine upon
And
it.
the Lord said, all right then. You want to do wickedness? I'm gonna send a famine in the land, man. Go ahead. And there's been plenty of famines. Go ahead.
And I will cut off man and beast.
And the Lord said He will cut off man and beast from it. Same like what He did. What? Cut off man and beast in the time of the flood. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it.
And these three men were in it, man. These three men was around. Obviously not at the same time, obviously, but they was in time frames when things were destroyed. Go ahead.
They shall deliver but their souls by their righteousness.
And they shall what?
Deliver but their souls by their righteousness.
And you deliver your soul by your righteousness. So you know this place is going to be destroyed with fire. So you can't be trying to run away thinking you're going to get what? One of them, what thinking you're going to stop, drop, and roll in the fire. Listen, man, stop, drop, and the white man teaches when there's a fire, stop, drop, and roll. The fire that the Lord's going to send, that stop, drop, and roll ain't going to help you, man. You know what's going to help you? By you delivering your soul by your righteousness, man. By you serving God. That fire won't be nowhere where you are, man. Go ahead.
If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land,
Go ahead.
and they spoil it, so that it be desolate,
Noise and beast, man, to destroy the land. Go ahead.
that no man may pass through because of the beast.
Go ahead.
A man may pass, okay. Though these 3 men were in it, as I live, says the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughters. They shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate.
So it says what? They can't deliver their sons and daughters. Everyone has to be righteous, man. You are responsible for what you do, man. You can't be relying on someone else to deliver your righteousness. The Lord's looking down, man, and the Lord sees everything. Don't think you're gonna slip through the cracks and the Lord ain't gonna see all the wickedness you're doing and you're gonna make it up. Listen, man, you have to be righteous, man. Go ahead.
Or if I bring a sword upon that land and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it, though these 3 men were in it, as I live, says the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, but they shall be delivered themselves.
They shall be delivered themselves, man. You be righteous, the Lord will deliver you, man. But you be unrighteous, you're gonna die in this place called England, man. You're gonna die in this city called Birmingham, London. You're gonna be the guy on the floor with chalk around you, man. That's gonna be us, man. If we don't want to serve God and if we don't want to stick to this agreement. What verse was you at?
Ezekiel, what was it?
14. And
18.
actually, you can drop that. Give me Leviticus 26 and 11. Our job is to what? Fix up, man. That's our job. To fix up and do better, man. That's our job. Go ahead.
Leviticus 26 and 11. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you.
And my soul shall not abhor you, man. The Lord's saying, yo, he's not going to hate us and want to destroy us. Go ahead.
And I will walk among you.
And I'll walk among you, man. Meaning what? This is part of the covenant. The Lord saying he will be with us, man. He will be with us. Go ahead.
And I will be your God, and ye shall be my people.
It says, and I'll be your God, and you shall be my people. Meaning he's going to be our power, and we're going to be his people, and he's going to walk with us. And everywhere we go, the Lord will be with us, man. Every battle we go to, the Lord will be with us and will deliver us out of that battle and make us come out on top in that battle. That's how it would have been, man. One of us would have put 7 to flight, man. One of us would have put 7 to flight. You see how you're running from the cops? Listen, man, they would be running from us if we were serving God. They would be running from us, man. And we would, every time they shoot one of us for running, it was an accident. We would accidentally shoot them, man. We would shoot them by accident, man. And then what would we do? We would do what they do, just issue an apology. Is that what they do? Issue an apology? Not even that. You're lucky if you get an apology. The one that shot Mark Duggan said, yo, I'll do it again. He said he had the audacity to say, I'll do it again. As to say he wants Mark Duggan to come back alive so he can shoot him again, man. That's what I got. What I got from that is the policeman saying, I wish I shot him more times. That's what it sounds like it to me. It sounds like to me like he's saying, I wish I emptied the clip in him, man. That's what that sounds like to me. If he was alive, I'll do it again. Listen, his family's watching that. At least have the decent, at least lie. He couldn't even hide his anger and his hatred and his racism. He said, if he was alive, I'd do it again. Go ahead.
Which brought thee from the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen.
And the Lord brought us from the land of Egypt. He's telling us that we should not be their bondmen, that we shouldn't be their slaves, man. Right about now, we ain't meant to be the white man's slave. He ain't supposed to be telling you you can't have holiday off from work. He ain't supposed to be telling you I'm clocking you out early. He ain't supposed to be telling you you failed probation. He ain't supposed to be telling you you haven't got the job. He ain't supposed to be in that position, man. We ain't supposed to be their bondmen. Go ahead.
And broken the bands of your yoke, and made you go upright.
And the Lord broke our yoke, meaning what? Took the chains and the yoke and everything off us. Go ahead. Took us out of that slavery.
But if you would not hearken unto me, and would not do all these commandments, and if ye despise my statutes, and your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do my commandments, but ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you.
So it goes, look, if you abhor my commandments and if you break my covenant, which is what the agreement that we've got with God, if we break that agreement, this is what the Lord's going to do to us. Go ahead.
I will appoint over you terror.
I will what?
Appoint over you terror.
Listen, man, this should let you know that we've broken this covenant because as you can see, the way we live in, God ain't walking with us. By the way we live in, as you can see, we somebody's bondmen, we in slavery because we broke God's covenant. Go ahead. And there's appointed over us terrors, meaning what? You see them blue lights in the rear view. You don't know whether to put you meant to put your foot on the brake, you end up putting your foot on the gas. You that scared, man. You just thinking, oh, is this the day I go to jail, man? Appoint over us terrors, man. Can't even go outside and look at one another without someone wanting to kill one another. Now, if that's not terror, I don't know, man. Seeing the white man every day in your neighborhood, that sounds like terror to me. Go ahead.
Consumption and the burning aid.
Consumption and the burning aid, diseases and whatnot. Go ahead.
We shall consume the eyes and sorrow of heart.
We shall consume the eyes and sorrow of heart, man. Meaning you're depressed. You got depression. What's the next one? You got anxiety. All of those things, man. We are people who's full of depression and anxiety, man. Some of us have been depressed for so long that we don't even know that depression is just normal now. Just listen. Just listen to all these rappers that rap about their life and hard times. People like the songs because it's what depressing, right? People like, and this is why when our people are sad, what do they do? Go and find the saddest song they could think of, man. Go and find the saddest song they could think of. When men feel like the whole world's against them, what do they go and do? Put on the Tupac song "Me Against the World," and they think, oh, that it relates to them. Uh, when our women are feeling down, what do they go and do? Put on that silly song. What's it called? I should have cheated. Who sings it again? Is it Sierra? Is it Keisha Cole or Sierra? One of them. They go and put on Keisha Cole or Sierra. I should have cheated. They go put on what Ashanti, foolish. Like we are people who we are like obviously our celebrities they're depressed as well. So obviously they make the songs and they capture their every feeling and emotion on the song. And then when we feeling down, what do? Sit in a room with headphones on, listen to the song, and so forth. Because we are people that's depressed and anxiety, man. And you can tell by our artists, all our songs, it captures our very emotion. Whereas you listen to other artists, they don't, their songs don't have no emotion in it. The white man's songs is just what? Some nonsense. Whereas our songs can make you happy, it can make you cry, it can make you dance. Like with that talent, even in our depression, our people can drop a depressing song and that song can go to number one, man. That song can half the population could be feeling that song because they're going through the same thing, man. That's how talented we are as a people, even in our low state. Go ahead.
And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
And listen, man, everything we do, these other nations eat it up and benefit from it because we broke the covenant. So anything you do today, all that money you make, it just goes back into white society. Anything you have, the white man just takes it. Back then, if you built a house and whatnot, listen, a house is only what? Brick, water, and what? Cement. The house is only brick, water, and cement. And this white man has the audacity to sell some of them for 1.2 million. And it's only brick, water, and cement. And he sells it for 1.2 million. He sells it for a price that you be able to afford, man. And it's only brick, cement, and water, man. That's all it is. Honestly, you give me brick, cement, and water, I could make a house, man. But guess what? The white man won't let me. He's gonna say, no, you ain't got the planning permission. He makes all these rules and these lies. You ain't got the plan. Who gave him the permission to tell me I ain't got planning permission? If I ain't got the planning permission, he ain't got the planning permission. All it is brick, water, and cement, man. You bring me enough bricks, enough cement, and enough water. Bring me one of them turning things that they put the cement in, and I'll build a house, man. I'll build a house, man. And guess what the white man will do? Will knock it down and say, you ain't got the planning permission. Or he will just take it for himself. For them to build these houses don't cost a lot, but then they want to sell some of them for 1.5 million, man, for brick, cement, and water. A car's what? Just metal, and they want to sell some cars for 80 grand, 100 grand. And all it is what? A piece of metal, man. Go ahead. A piece of metal that you crash it, dent straight away, man. That gets scratches and so forth. Go ahead.
And I will set my face against you.
And the Lord said he will set his face against us. And the life that we live in should be common sense that the Lord's face is against us, man. Should be common sense that the Lord is beefing with us right now, man. It should be common sense. Should be common sense that the Lord's saying, you know what? These people ain't doing what I require them to do. So I'm gonna destroy them. You should see with how we're living that the Lord is currently at war with us right now, man, because we refuse to serve him. If we want the Lord to stop being at war with us, we need to serve him. That's the only way this is the only way the Lord's going to stop warring with us. Go ahead.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
And what?
Ye shall be slain before your enemies.
And there you go, man. We slain before our enemies. We die horrible death. You really think when the ambulance crew you think when they come, you really think they want to save you? They couldn't care less, man. They're getting paid, they just make it look good. They just come there, put the finger on your chest. They say, oh no, we couldn't save him. Put the finger in your chest, say, oh no, we couldn't save him. Listen, they don't want to save you, man. They just say, oh no, we lost him, we couldn't save him. I'm telling you, that's they could if they wanted to, but they don't want it. They just see it as just these young black boys with knife crime. What's the point saving this one when he's only destined for jail? That's how the white man sees us, man. Oh, they're only destined for jail. They're only destined for death and destruction. That's how the white man sees us. Go ahead.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you.
They that what?
They that hate you shall reign over you.
And they that hate us rule over us, man. And that's why they shoot us dead in the streets. That's why they cram us all in the ghettos. That's why they treat us like animals. Because the people ruling over us hate us, man. That's why they don't like to employ you. That's why if you're on your slavery, there's probably not a lot of black people on the slavery. This is why there's a very minimal black managers on your slavery. You're striving your whole work career to become a manager, man. You're striving your whole career to get that manager's title, and a white man that just walked off the street comes in as the new manager, man. They ain't even considering you as the manager, man. You ain't even considered as being the manager. Go ahead.
And ye shall flee when none pursueth
And you shall what? Flee when none pursueth you, man. When the police just stop to get donuts like they do, that's all they do is pull up at the donut shop. You be running out the back door of the donut shop, man. You flee when none pursueth you. You go ahead.
And if ye would not for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more.
And listen, man, this is why we're being punished, because we break God's covenant, we break the agreement, we do what we think's right in our eyes, we do whatever we want to do. We like to say, you know what, forget that, we like to say, forget the Lord's program, I'm going to follow my own program. That's what we say. So obviously what? The Lord has to jam us up for it, man. The Lord jams us up so we learn and be like, all right, why is my life going like this? Like your life going that bad, it should push you into the truth, man. It should make you realize that what? You can't fight against God, man. You can't go against God. You can't win against God. It should make you say, you know what? Let me just start serving. Let me just start serving God, because I've been trying to beef him for so long and it's just not working out for me. Go ahead.
Then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins, and I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron.
And that's it on that, man. And listen, man, we are people, a broken people, man. For all this evil that we do and breaking covenants with the Lord and disobeying God and so forth. Give me a 2 Kings chapter 23 and verse 1. Chapter 23 and verse 1.
Second Kings 23 and 1. And the king sent, and they gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and of Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of the Lord, and all the men of Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets, and all the people.
So all of them went into the house of the Lord. Go ahead.
Both small and great,
And all the people, both small and great. Go
And
ahead.
he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant,
And he read in their ears, man, all the words of the book of the covenant. Go ahead.
which was found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before the Lord to walk after the Lord and to keep his
And
commandments
they made an agreement, man, to walk after the Lord and to keep his commandments. Go ahead.
and his testimonies,
And his testimonies, man. Go ahead.
his statutes
His statutes also.
with all their heart and
With
with
all their
soul.
heart, with all their soul, with everything, man. With everything, they're going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Go ahead.
To perform the words of the covenant
To perform the words of the covenant. Go ahead.
that were written in this book.
Go ahead.
And all the people stood to the covenant,
All the people did what?
stood to the covenant,
Listen, man, you agreed with that covenant, whether you agree or not. You agreed to this covenant right here, man. You agreed that you'd walk in all God's commandments. So you, as a black and Hispanic man, you have to keep them, man, because you agreed to it. You claim you're a man, right? Be a man of your word, man. Your forefathers agreed to this for you, man. And you can't just come and be like, I don't want to stick to the program. Listen, the contract's already been signed, man. This contract's been signed, and you can't leave this agreement now. You've signed the contract, and that's the end of it, man. You have to keep this agreement that you signed to. All the people said what? Do what?
all the people stood to the covenant, and the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest and the priest of the second order.
That's it on that. We all agreed to the covenant, man. So it's only right we keep it now. Drop that. Give me Exodus chapter 19 and verse 7. We agreed to it. Be a man of your word, man. Get me? You was listen. You was born into this covenant, man. You better keep it. You was born into this agreement.
Exodus 19 and 7. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all the words which the Lord commanded him.
And Moses called all the people and laid before all of them all the words, man. Go ahead.
And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do.
They said what?
All that the Lord has spoken, we will do.
All what the Lord have spoken, we will do. Everything God said, they said they would do, man. They said they would do everything that God said. So everything which is written in here, all these laws, you've agreed to it, man. So you can't go back. You can't be backsliding and saying, no, I wish I didn't agree to that law. I wish I didn't agree. You agreed, man. You agreed to all these words. Go ahead.
And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord.
And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. Moses went back and said, all right, God, this is what they're saying. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee.
And listen, the Lord ain't playing no games, man. He said he's going to what?
I return in a thick cloud.
And listen, man, the Lord said he's going to come in a thick cloud, man. The Lord said he's going to come in a thick cloud. Go ahead.
That the people may hear when I speak
That,
with thee.
hold on, that the people may what?
Hear when I speak with thee.
And listen, man, the Lord ain't playing no games. You know what? You know when people, black people say, "Yo, I'm gonna come and tell them so they hear when they speak." That's what the Lord say, man. He ain't playing no games, man. He's saying, "I'm gonna make them hear when they speak, man." This ain't no white Jesus. This ain't no white Jesus that's gonna come in his. He's always damn. What do they always wrap him in a damn towel? He's always damn wrapped in a towel with nothing underneath. This ain't no white Jesus, man. This is the Lord talking. A black man, man. Go ahead. A black man, a man of war, man, that don't play no games, man. That ain't like the God that they teach you about in church. The God that they teach you about in church ain't the God of the Bible. Go ahead.
That the people may hear when I speak with thee.
Go ahead.
And believe thee forever.
That the people may hear when I speak, man. So the Lord was making his presence known amongst the people, man. That yes, he exists and they may believe forever. What verse you at? Jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunderings and lightnings.
And listen, man. This is when the Lord's going to come down. There was what?
Thunderings and lightnings.
Listen, man. There was thunderings and lightnings. Listen, some of you people get scared when it thunders and lightning. Just imagine the Lord's coming down and there's all this thundering and lightning. This alone should make you say, I don't want to break his agreement. This alone should make you say, I don't want to break the covenant with him. There's thunderings and lightnings, man. Meaning the Lord's coming down and he ain't playing no games, man. He's coming back, like, you get me? He's coming down. Go ahead.
And a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of trumpet
And
exceeding
listen,
loud.
a thick cloud, man, and a voice that sounds like a trumpet, which was loud, man. Which means what? The Lord wasn't like your Christian pastor. The Lord wasn't like your Christian pastor that's got a soft voice and feels like they have to talk nice and soft and feels like they can't shout and they can't get angry, they can't have bass in their voice. They said the voice was what?
And the voice of the trumpet exceedingly loud,
Listen, the voice was loud, man. Go ahead.
so that all the people that were in the camp trembled.
They did what?
Trembled.
Listen, man. If God is all loving and your best friend and like they make out like God is in church, why would the people tremble? Why would the people tremble? You know why? Because God's a man of war, man. It said there was thunderings, there was lightnings, there was thick clouds, there was a loud voice, which lets you know God's a man of war, man. You seeing that should let you know, listen, this ain't somebody I want to play with. This should let you say, you know what, I'm keeping to that agreement that I signed. This should make you say, I signed an agreement and I'm sticking to it because all this thundering and this lightning and all this loud voice and all this thick cloud and this fire, it should make you say, you know what, I'm sticking to this agreement because whatever that loud voice is, I don't want to get on the wrong side of it, man. The people trembled, man. When you tremble. Why? Because you're afraid, man. Ain't nobody trembling from white Jesus, man.
Right.
I'll slap him in the face, Salakia. Send white Jesus to me, I'll slap his head off, man, Salakia. But here the people trembled, man. Go ahead.
And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with the Most High.
And Moses brought the people out, man. Go ahead.
And they stood at the neither part of the mount, and Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke.
Holding it was on what?
On a smoke.
It was on smoke, man. From fire, man. And I should let you know the Lord ain't no soft man. The Lord didn't come with a party bag for everyone with a little birthday whistles in what is it? Them birthday whistles that you blow and it comes out them. Yeah, the Lord didn't come there with them little clown whistles and sweets and giving out hugs and kisses. Nah, man, he came down, man, in a pillar of smoke, man. Those thunderings, those lightnings, those loud voice, a loud voice. Go ahead.
And the Lord descended upon it in fire.
And the Lord did what?
Descended upon it in fire.
The Lord descended upon it in fire, man. The Lord came down on the mount, man, in a pillar of fire, man. Go ahead. Just imagine it's dark, there's thunderings, there's lightning, there's thick smoke, there's fire, there's a loud voice. That should make you say, I'm sticking to this agreement. I ain't gonna break this agreement. It said the people trembled, man. Go ahead.
And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace.
And it ascended as if of the smoke of a furnace, meaning this was burning, man. Go ahead. What verse you at? Go ahead.
And the whole mount quaked greatly.
And the whole mount quaked greatly, man. Listen, the Lord ain't nothing to play with, man. I'm just telling you, every time I read this, I tremble and I say I'm not leaving this covenant, man. I tremble and say I'm not breaking this covenant, man. I tremble and say I'm not breaking this covenant. When I'm hearing this thundering and this lightning and this fire and this thick cloud, listen, I'm keeping that covenant. I'm keeping that covenant, man. Listen, I tremble when I read these things. I don't know about you. You've been lied to in church, man. You've been taught, don't worry, do as you please. God don't mind. God's all loving. Why would God punish you for doing this? Why would God do it? Listen, man. The God you've been taught about in church ain't the God of the Bible, man. That's the God that's in their mind. That's the God of their mind, man. Go ahead.
And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder,
And it what?
waxed louder and louder.
This voice got louder and louder, man. This voice got louder and louder. Imagine there's a loud voice, man, and there's thundering, and there's lightning, and there's thick smoke, and there's fire. And you're looking, and this voice is getting louder and louder, man. Go ahead.
Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, And the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze.
Basically, he was saying keep them outside of the mountain. Don't let them get too close. Basically, that's what that's saying. But what verse you at? Jump to Exodus 20:1.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So listen, the Lord came down on the mount, man, with thundering, lightnings, a loud voice, fire and whatnot. And when the Lord came down, this is what the Lord wanted. This is what the Lord said when he came down. Read Exodus 21.
And the Lord spake all these words unto Moses, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
And he came down saying this, go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
He said, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Listen, seeing this, seeing what they're seeing, how can you after this go and worship a rock? After seeing what they're seeing, after this, how can you go and put a Christian cross around your neck? How can you go and put an anchor around your neck? After seeing this, the Lord said, Thou shalt have no other gods before me, man. How can you go and worship Buddha after this? How can you go and worship Allah after this? It don't make no sense, man. After you saw this, after we saw this and trembled, man, and knew who we was meant to be serving, how are we just gonna go worship a stone that you can just kick around, man? How are we gonna go worship Adam, Jesus peace, man? How are we gonna go bow down before a Christmas tree and go put our head in the rock and talk about we need to go to Mecca and make Hajj and pilgrimage? How are we going to do all that after we seen all this, man? But go ahead. The Lord said, Don't have no other gods before him. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down.
Oh, yes, and listen, people read this and people say, Oh, it says you shouldn't make any graven image. If people read this and say, Oh, you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't have this. Listen, man, it tells you what this is referring to. Read on.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
That's what it's talking about, man. When it's talking about having nothing under the earth and in the heavens and whatnot, so it's talking about you not having it to bow down and worship it, man. That's what it's talking about. That's what it's talking about. You ain't supposed to bow down and worship it. People read this and say, "Oh, so this means I can't have a picture of a fish." Of course you can. If you like fishes as decorations, you can put a picture of a fish on the wall. The whole issue is you don't bow down and worship it, man. That's what it's talking about. The whole issue is you don't worship it. It's not talking about you can't have a picture, because if that's the case, your great grandma that's passed away, you can't have that picture either, then, man, because she's what under the earth, man. Obviously, you don't worship the picture. You just look at it and it's just for remembrance. The whole issue is you're not supposed to read it. Read it again.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
That's the whole issue with what it's talking about, man. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, man. Meaning you ain't supposed to worship these images. You ain't supposed to worship these things. You ain't supposed to worship these rocks and whatnot. That's what it's talking about, man. The whole issue is you bowing down yourself to worship it. That's the whole issue that everybody misses. Go ahead. People say, oh, when we got the shield on, people say, oh, look at them. They're wearing an idol. Listen, man. Listen, man. We don't bow down and worship. Maybe you worship it, but we don't worship it, man. We don't bow down and worship it, man. That's the difference. Whereas they worship that cross around their neck, man. They kiss it. They pull it on the pillow. Listen, they make the cross sleep on the pillow. Like, they make it sleep on the pillow and put the blanket over it so it's nice and warm. That's what Christians do. We don't do that, man. We wear our chain and we take it off and put it on the side, man. We don't worship it, man. Go ahead.
No, serve them.
No what?
No, serve them.
No, serve them. That's the whole issue, man. The whole issue was you worshiping these things and serving them. We ain't supposed to do that. Go ahead.
For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God.
For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, man. And I guarantee you, after the Lord said there's a jealous God, some more thunder came, man. I guarantee you, man. Some more thunder and fire came, man. And lightning, man. And more smoke, man. Letting you know, yo, don't think about it, man. You seen? Just think about it. At this time while this is being read, there's all this smoke and this fire and everything, man. Go ahead.
Visited the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
And the Lord saying it will visit us, man, for breaking his laws. But from there, for time's sake, jump to verse 18.
Verse 18. And the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings.
And the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings, man. They saw the thunderings and the lightnings. Go ahead.
And the noise of the trumpet.
And they heard them loud trumpets. Go ahead.
And the mountains smoking.
And the mountains were smoking as well, man. Listen, some weed addict is gonna think the mountains had a spliff. some weed addict will think the mountains had a spliff. No, man. This is the mountains were smoking from the fire, man, that the Lord came down with. Go ahead.
And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
And they seen it, and they what moved backwards, man, because they was afraid, man. They seen all of this. They was afraid, but the God that we taught about in 2019 ain't the same God of the Bible. Because if we was taught about the God of the Bible, we would fear, man. We would fear him, man. And we would keep his commandments and say, you know what, I'm not going to break his covenant. Go ahead.
And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear.
What did they say?
Speak thou with us, and we will hear.
And they stepped backwards and said, Moses, you talk to us, man. We will listen to you. You talk to us. Because they were scared of that voice that they could hear and the thunderings and so forth. Go ahead.
But let not the Most High speak with us.
Let what?
Let not the Most High speak with us.
And why did they say that? Because they was afraid, man. Because the Lord was loud and trumpets and fire and thunder and everything, man. And they was afraid, man. They said, Moses, you speak to us. We don't want to speak to him. It's too scary, man. Go ahead.
But let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die.
Lest we what?
Lest we die.
Listen, man, they were scared to death, man. And that's how we supposed to be nowadays, man. We meant to fear the Lord, man. We meant to fear the Lord, man. We should be willing to die before we break the Lord's laws, man. That's how much we should fear him. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God has come to prove you.
Fear not, because God has come to prove you. Go ahead.
And that his fear may be before your faces.
And that his fear may be before your faces, man. Go ahead.
And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And Moses said, and the Lord said unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, ye have seen what I have taught with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with thee gods of silver. And
listen, man, the Lord said, look, you've seen, man. Don't be making you gods of silver and whatnot. Let me get two more scriptures. Give me Exodus 15 and 3 real quick. And we'll close it out with Daniel 7 and 9. Give me Exodus 3 real quick. Like the Lord weren't playing no games, man. Came down with all that fire, that thunder. Listen, man, listen, man, you better fear him. For your own safety, you better fear him. Go ahead.
The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is what?
A man of war.
The Lord is a man of war, man. And that's why the Lord came down in that way, man, because he's a man of war. He ain't a man of kisses like in church. He's a man of war, man. He came down like a man of war, man. Not playing no games whatsoever, man. Came down so we could see, yo, he ain't playing no games. We better fear him. Go ahead.
The Lord is his name.
And there you go, man. The Lord is a man of war, man. And Yahweh is his name, man. Give me Daniel 7 and 9 real quick.
Daniel 7 and 9. Behold, I beheld the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit, whose garment was white as
Says,
snow.
I beheld the thrones were cast down, all these other nations' rulership. Go ahead. All their thrones, which represents their rulership. Go ahead.
And the hair of his head was white like pure wool.
This is talking about God now. God had a head full of pure wool, man, like we have, man. Nappy hair, man. He had kinky nappy hair. Go ahead.
His throne was like the fiery flame.
His throne was like the fiery flame, man. Meaning what? His throne's like fire, man. Fire coming from his throne, man. This is the God we meant to serve, man. Had a fiery throne. Go ahead.
And his wheels as burning fire.
And his wheels is burning fire, man. Like the Lord ain't playing no games, man. This is the God we're supposed to fear and serve and keep the covenant, man. His throne was fiery, man. He's describing what he's seen, man. Go ahead.
A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
A fiery stream issued and came, like fire's coming from the throne, man. Fire's coming from the throne, man. The Lord's showing his authority and who's in charge, man. He ain't no soft God like we've been taught. Go ahead.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. But with that, that brings us to the end of the class. We're going to do the announcements and prayers. And we'll be out of here. I don't think there is no more to do, you know. Oh, just them ones, man.
With the I.S.U.P.K starting at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA, rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:10, and the 10th in the Hebrew Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or the teacher. Please one, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, beat the trumpets. All active aircraft, check the bulletin board in the hallway, check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a troop in the schools, I wear all black boots, shirt, pants, anybody head stuff. Like Lord's Prayer, I'm on it. Right to the east. It's Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Badash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malak of Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, I.S.U.P.K, Wa'aratazah, Kawa, Washemayim, the Fananawa, Lakam, Ka, Yuwam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawakanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawakanawa, Wala'ah, Tabi Ainawa, Wanasayawan, Abba, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalaka, Waha'ala, Waha'para, La'awalamya, Aman.
In English, our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
So we want to teacher, Minavitra, Iman Shabbat, Imanium, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
And how about Shem Yashaba Kafam?
Yajabata, and class dismissed.